All new this morning, it is the concept of charging people based on things that companies know about them. It's called surveillance pricing. For example, you could pay one price and the person next to you could pay a higher or lower price for the same exact item. The Federal Trade Commission is looking into companies that may be doing this. Miri, I know you spoke with some experts on this trend. This is fascinating and really has me questioning some of my past purchases.
Yeah, so they're still investigating whether this is happening. But Marcella, this could potentially shape the way that science and technology will impact our shopping. I spoke to two experts about this practice, Sinead Bovell, a futurist and founder of tech education company Way. And I also spoke with distinguished business professor Jean-Pierre Dubé of Chicago Booth School of Business. Here are their thoughts. Sinead, thank you so much again for joining us. I just want to ask you, surveillance pricing, you made an Instagram post about this. You even talked to the FTC director. What are your thoughts on this and what should people be aware of?
Right. So surveillance pricing, it is as kind of scary as it sounds. It's about linking prices to individualized consumer data. So a company charging you potentially a higher price than someone else for the exact same product or service based on the data that they have about you. So we've all known for years that companies have been collecting troves and troves of data on us, including our characteristics, our emotional states, our credit profiles, our location, and they even build psychological profiles on us. And then they can use the technology such as artificial intelligence or advanced algorithms to analyze all of that data and be able to predict our personal individual willingness to pay for a certain product. So then you may see an inflated price for the exact same product or service that your neighbor just bought.
Is there a way that we can protect ourselves?
You can do things like use certain privacy tools. Maybe you employ a browser extension that blocks trackers and cookies. Maybe you could use a VPN or use more of an anonymous browsing option.
Now, I also spoke with business professor Jean-Pierre Dubé, who says surveillance pricing is not necessarily new and there could be some benefits to customers. He actually conducted a study with ZipRecruiter that was similar to surveillance pricing. So what were the results? I saw some results that said some people actually saved money and perhaps a few paid more. Tell me about those results.
Yeah, that's a great question because it really speaks to some of the very negative press right now about personalized pricing. The word surveillance pricing is a relatively new term, but you can see that it really connotes something evil and sinister. What the reason I think people are upset about this kind of practice is there's an assumption, and it's misleading. When we start thinking about, well, what's the harm in all of this? I suppose you could argue there's going to be winners and losers. Some customers pay more, some pay less. But overall, in the ZipRecruiter setting, what we found was 67% of customers paid a lower price. It's kind of like taking a pricing scenario that already exists all over the place. When you walk into a car dealership, the dealer negotiates with you and talks to you. And through a conversation, they can learn about, just by seeing you, your race. They can learn about your gender. They can probably learn about your socio-demographics. And then through conversations, they can learn where you live. And all of those things are all taken into account into the price negotiation. And in theory, a good sales rep at a car dealership would then be able to personalize the price through the willingness to negotiate with you. What our software would do is essentially automate that process and take the data and use it objectively.
So both Professor Dubé and Sinead Bovell think it is a good idea for the FTC to take a look at this practice, and I reached out to the FTC, and at this time, they say the agency does not have an update. They are still looking into it.
Really fascinating. You really have to be mindful of what you're posting on social media, where you're browsing, how you're browsing. But I guess if you come on the winning end of it, sure, it's an upside for customers. But if you're paying more, I think there needs to be some regulation around that for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And that's what the FTC wants to do. Just want to make sure everybody's getting a fair shake.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Very interesting. Miri, thank you. Appreciate it.